Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgimon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Hunter x Hunter chapter 400. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? I thought it was a good way to end pretty much the batch of chapters we're gonna get for a while. I thought it was a nice little cliffhanger, and I thought they did a good job, setting the stage of what's to come in the future. Now, is it tragic that this is the last chapter we're going to get for the year? Yes. Is it also tragic that it's the last chapter we're going to get for a while? Absolutely. However, I'm very happy and very content with the chapters that we got in the batch that we did get. Like the last 10 chapters, I thought they were great, and I have no real complaints, to be honest. And I'm just happy that the franchise is back. But yeah, other than that, I'm glad Togashi picked up the pen and started writing once again, because the stuff that he wrote, it was fire for the most part. Now, before we get into this week's chapter, I just wanted to say that I hope all of you guys enjoyed your Christmas and your holidays and why not, and I hope everybody, had fun. So I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you guys. I would also really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hey, that could be my Christmas present from you guys. So if you're watching this, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm currently uploading Hunter x Hunter, Berserk, Chainsaw Man, my Dress Up Darling content, so a variety of content. So if you guys could, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with that being said, let's get into this week's chapter. So we start off the chapter pretty much how the last one ended, which was that pretty much the Phantom Troop, they got the tracker and they're gonna hunt down where Morena is. And the funny part about the whole thing is that Sphinx and Phaeton, they're just like, oh man, where should we go? Is it upwards? Is it downwards? Because it tells you the distance. However, it doesn't tell you whether you gotta go up or down. So they gotta kind of figure that out in the go. And while they're doing that, they bump into Nobunaga, and they're like, "Wow, that was fast. What the heck?" And there's like, "Yeah, these guys are trickier than we thought, but I tell you what. Before we begin any of this, we should first go get Franklin, because hey, it's down, it's in the lower levels. If we do that and they happen to be in the lower levels, then that works out for us. If not, we're gonna have more numbers, which would help us out, because these guys, they're a little trickier than you would have thought, and they don't want, what if Franklin's by himself, he gets taken out. So they're gonna go towards Franklin right now. So after that, we pretty much catch up with one of the other princes, which is Prince Tyson, and we see that her ability is pretty interesting. So what her ability is pretty much, there's a book and she writes these stories, and why not, or the stories are already written. It's kind of ambiguous as to how full of an extent this ability takes place, and it affects other people. But what we do see is that there's all these people pretty much cosplaying or role-playing as other characters. For example, there's a character that's role-playing as an alien, and obviously it's weird and wacky and why not, but that's typical Hunter x Hunter fashion and Togashi writing, but it's great. We do see that Kurapika Sensei is there, and he's actually like, whoa. So she's able to make these people she calls them, they're reborn as the characters. What I'm assuming is that they're pretty much, I wouldn't say brainwashed, but they're influenced to become the characters that they read in the stories, or why not. At least that's my interpretation of the thing. So we see that pretty much Kurapika's sensei is like, hey, what if we give this book to the king? That way he reads this and you can just end the whole succession war arc. He becomes like, a nice king, or he just cuts it all off. And yeah, and then she's like, yeah, like, as he asked her, like, hey, have you delivered copies to the other princesses and the king? And she's like, yeah, but a lot of them, they just throw it away, or they don't care for it because it's not for them. And so that's interesting, because now he's like, no, we should do that. So maybe try once again, and if you do give it to the king, maybe it'll stop the succession war work. And smart play by him. And it was also nice seeing him again, because it's a way callback from York New City with the Kurapika Sensei. So it was just cool catching up with him, and why not. And following that up, we catch up with pretty much Kacho, and and if you guys don't remember who Kacho is, she is one of the sisters that died outside when the two sisters were trying to escape, when she was guiding them to escape, and one of them died. However, we find out that this sister, after her death, she manifested herself. Now, we don't know the specifics about how she came back. However, we can assume that it was her Nan beast. And we don't know whether it's actually her consciousness or it's just an imagination of pretty much Fugetsu's imagination of her own sister manifesting into there. However, let's just say that it's actually Kacha, just for the sake of it, just to complicate anything. So Kacha shows up and she's telling Melody and one of the other advisors like, hey, I'm here and I can help out because I can face through walls, and why not, because I'm pretty much a ghost, in other words. And so they're like, oh yeah, and they're like, yeah, I won't tell my sister about me because that'll freak her out, and why not. So they're pretty much saying like, Melody, we gotta keep you on the lowdown. And she's like, why? And she pretty much says like, now that the princesses find out that one of them died, they're all gonna pretty much try to get you as an accomplice, and they're gonna charge you with, you know, like pretty much you know, all these criminal charges. So right now what's happening is that there's multiple princesses that want to use Melody and they want to have an audience with her. And there's a couple that want them to just have an audience with her like on just by themselves, and there's also some that want her to have an audience in the entire banquet. Now Melody, she's like, I'm actually hired for this specific prince, so I think it's a conflict of interest. And one of the advisors dudes says, he's like, no, what you have to at least hear them out, because they kind of have you, you know, like they're blackmailing you, in other words, like, hey, either you play for us or we're gonna get you and we'll see you in court and charge you for all these cases regarding the death of one of the princesses. So they're like, okay, how about this, we'll do this plan where it consists of pretty much you and the rest of us pretty much assembling the princes together, and you put them to sleep, and then we will give them a slow poison. Like we'll make them intake a slow type of poison, so that way it's not obvious, and why not, so they'll just die on, you know, slowly without them knowing. And she's like, well, if they find this out, they're gonna go for your head too. And he's like, yeah, I'm well aware of that. And she's like, why would you do all of this? Just stick your back for us. And he's like, because I like you. So this guy, he's like simping for Melody and why not. I don't buy it. I think he's, you know, a secret agent. And even she's like, nah, I think he's full of BS. So right now she's like, kind of like, all right, I'll go along with it just so she can see how things turn out. However, keep it in mind, I think that this guy is obviously sus. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's hired by another party, you know, that's the big reveal going forward, who knows. But seeing that, we later see that after that, you see that he bumps into another one of his buddies and colleagues or whatnot, and he's like, hey, listen, all these princes are gonna meet up, and if shit hits the fan, there's gonna be martial law. Now, however, our division is set to make sure that we prevent that from happening. So if it becomes like martial law and like the military and all that takes over, we gotta prevent that from happening. So that's our job. So this guy's already taking precautions going forward. And after that, we see pretty much that Kacho goes and checks out on her sister. So we know that she was lying. She's obviously been keeping contact with her. And what she sees once she gets into the room is that there's a door, which is her Nen ability of the sister. She's been kind of just traveling everywhere. And she's like, where is she? Did she get captured? Is she like, what happened? Then she comes back and she's like, oh my god, where you been? And then you see her sister, Fugetsu, and she looks like a mess. She looks like she hasn't slept for days. She looks like she looks like trash. Like she looks like a huge mess. So they're like, hey, you should get some rest. She's like, no, you see, I feel so happy and I feel so full of energy because of all this magic, because of her Nan ability, and why not? And she's like, and you know, like the Nan beast or whatever. And she's like, I feel so happy and, you know, I'm full of power. I can, you know, I love this. And the sister, or the Kacho, whatever, she's like, take some rest. And she's like, no, all this time you were the one looking after me. Now I'm going to be the one looking after you. And you see these crazy eyes and why not. And pretty much the sister is like, all right, you get some rest. And she's like, all right, I'll get some rest finally. And then we cut to Melody actually meeting up with one of the princesses, which is the fourth prince. And he's like, hey, listen, you know, I appreciate what you do. Let me, you should sing for me, and why not have a secret audience with me? Like, I want to hear this. And Melody's like, okay. So that's this specific prince meets up with her in person. She's like, whoa, this guy, you know, he must be in business if he puts himself in the forefront. So that's what's happening with Melody, and she starts thinking like, what if all of because she hears most of the people's hearts, like all the princesses. and she starts thinking like, what if none of them actually want to meet up? Maybe it was a fifth party, or pretty much somebody outside of the bubble that like pretty much created this event for them to meet up, and then he could take them all out. Maybe it's not within any actual princes that came up with this plan. Maybe it's another prince that's not even involved with this. So that's the big takeaway. And then you cut to Melody's like, maybe we gotta figure this out, and you see that Kurapika shows up once again. So we're getting hinted at Kurapika taking once again a major role in the story, because he hasn't been a major role for the last 10 chapters or so. So it was cool seeing him, and the chapter ends pretty much with Kurapika's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump into the action, and I'm gonna, you know, see what this is about. So with that being said, I thought this chapter was great, and it was a great setup for the future chapters, because as we all expected, we're back to hiatuses, and we got a message from the Shonen Jump, and they all say that they talked to Togashi and his, you know, his editorial team and his assistants and whatnot. And there is hope, because it does say that right now Togashi's in the process of finishing the story. So we know he's actually trying to finish the whole story. So that's awesome. And we know we're going to get more, because it says that in the future we'll keep you up pretty much posted and when he does come back. But yeah, with that, I'm very hopeful to see maybe some more chapters, you know, in 2023. I really hope so, because the ones we got this year were amazing. But yeah, with that being said, what did you guys think about the big chapter 400 of Hunter x Hunter? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys love it? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.